Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are having a great day so far. Let's get into the fun, which includes a new Three Kingdoms portal today. This new Three Kingdoms portal is actually very interesting. They have brought a brand new family to the Three Kingdoms portal, which includes quite a few new character drops. So this will be a relatively long video. I definitely recommend that you take a moment to increase the speed to 1.5 or a little bit higher if you can handle that, just to make sure you get through the content in a reasonable amount of time. So let's get into it and take a look at what we got. All right, so just a quick side note, they did introduce the new red lucky summons. This is a very cool concept that they created to help us deal with the fact that there's been a lack of participation in the Three Kingdoms battle. A lot of people join and don't use flags. To counter this, they decided to create a reward system. So now when you do your Three Kingdoms fights, you will earn 2 lucky coins. Once you receive 100 lucky coins, you can go ahead and do a red lucky summon, which will then summon one of the characters listed here at random, and you're guaranteed a 5-star out of this. It's a pretty cool concept. However, at 2 per flag, understand that's going to take an incredibly long time. That means you get a max of 24 per Three Kingdoms portal, it seems. And that means you're going to need 5 portals of doing all your flags before you get a free lucky summons. One thing I haven't confirmed yet is whether or not you will receive these lucky coins at the end of the event as part of the event rewards that pay out. If so, we might be able to chop that down from like maybe 5 of these, portals down to maybe 3. That would be a much more reasonable way to do it, so I certainly hope they do that. Now, let's get back to the characters. All right, so right here, the first one up is going to be a blue paladin, it looks like. So let's get into this family bonus. First things first, this is called the Outlaws of Liangshan family. Liangshan, I think. Anyway, moving on, the family bonus is for 1, 2, or 3 heroes, and they get a 50, 60, or 70% critical chance. All right, so this will become important, and we will explain why when we get into the special, but understand that their critical can go up by 50, 60, or 70%, depending on the number that you have. All right, passive-wise, we have Cleanse on critical special attack. When this character scores a critical hit with their special skill, they safely cleanse the latest cleansable status ailment from all allies. This effect can only activate once per turn. Well, that's kind of fun. Notably, since that jumps down a little ahead, this character has the ability to critical with their specials. It's kind of a new concept they're introducing, but not dissimilar from like how the owls have worked or some of the Untold 2 characters. So anyways, just understand that he can critical with his special, and with his family bonus increasing critical, you should see them more often than not. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Well, I should say more often than other characters, perhaps not more often than not. Next up, Righteous Rebellion. When this character's special skill, when this character's special skill hits a character that had higher current HP, gain 20% boosted health. When this character's special skill hits a character that had that has higher current HP, gain 20% mana. Each of these effects can only activate once per turn, and I apologize about that. I just grabbed my glasses, so this should be a little bit easier. But at that point, it looks like your being rewarded for attacking characters who are going to be stronger than you with health total. So keep that in mind. Like, they want you to kind of take them on, and when you do, you're going to get a bonus of 20% boosted health and 20% mana. Interesting way to go, although I oftentimes choose to finish off a character rather than attack a character with more health, so we'll have to see how often you take advantage of that passive. And last but not least, they resist bleed damage, so they have an innate immunity against bleeds. This guy's Aether power is also ailment immunity. I've talked about ailment immunity before, but I do believe it's one of the stronger specials in the game, so I highly recommend you consider characters with that ability. It makes you very tanky for the first 6 turns of the fight. And down to the special we go. We have Righteous Strike running at average speed. This special skill has a chance to deal critical hits, which we talked about. Let's see what the little thing says. Whenever they attack, critical hits caused by this special skill deal 50% more damage. Critical hits can reduce enemies' max health in PvP battles. This effect is stronger against boosted health. Okay, so as you can see, in PvP battles, we're going to see a reduction of max health off the critical hits as well. Just a nice little bonus. Now, what else does he do? Okay, it says he also deals 450% damage to the target and nearby enemies. Let's see. Heals the caster and nearby allies for 20% of the damage dealt. The target and nearby enemies get silenced for 4 turns. The target and nearby enemies get negative 30% defense for 4 turns. Okay, this guy's got a lot going on. First of all, one, it's very cool that specials can critical. Let's not kid around about that. That's going to increase their damage by a significant amount and make these guys hit something very reasonable. So just keep that in mind. Also, he's going to heal the caster nearby for 20% of the damage done. I don't think that necessarily is going to be the most massive heal, but I do like any damager who likes to sneak in a bit of healing as well. This one is huge, though. The fact that they get silenced. And we're talking about a hit 3 that silences for 4 turns. That's a long time. If you don't have a cleanse or something to fix that, it's really going to mess with the entire fight. And also, they get negative 30% defense for 4 turns. I think this guy's a bit of a powerhouse in disguise. He's great to have, and that silence is going to make him a real pain to deal with and probably a priority kill target when you go up against him. So yeah, I would say this character's a solid start. I'd give him well, looking at, yeah, I mean, I could give this guy a 9 out of 10. I think he's everything you want out of a character. I still don't think he's necessarily a game-changing character, but he's everything you'd want out of someone you put in your roster for sure. Okay, next up, we've got ourselves Li Kui. All right. So this guy's a red barbarian. Same family bonus where he's getting the crit for 1, 2, or 3 family members. His passive's most likely fairly similar. Cleanse on special attack. Yep, that's correct. That's the same. Righteous Rebellion. Same thing. If he attacks a target with higher health total, he's going to gain the boosted health and mana. And then we also have the immunity to bleed. His Aether power is going to be Taunt. So at that point, you gotta love a character that starts with Taunt. It really messes with the fight. Now, granted, it can be cleansed off, but it still has a tendency to mess with being able to kill the targets you really need to kill first. So what's his special do? We have Whirlwind Blows. Activated at average speed, this special skill has a chance to deal critical hits. Hooray. Deals 300% damage to the target and 4 random enemies. The caster gets Taunt that prevents enemies from using special skills for 4 turns. The caster reduces all received damage by 50% for 4 turns. Wow. Yeah. I mean, look, he basically is doing everything. So I'll explain what I mean by that. As a taunter, this guy has everything you want. He's dealing 300% damage to a target and 4 random enemies. So you're looking at 5 hits at 300%. 5 hits. That's an awful lot of hits for this. Now, granted, his attack stat isn't going to be as high as some people that we've seen recently, so don't expect these hits to be amazing. But each one of these hits, and this is important to remember, each one of these hits has its own chance to critical. And when it criticals, he will be triggering cleanse on critical hit. So he's going to cleanse. Even though that cleanse can only trigger once per turn, you can pretty much guarantee that he cleanses 1 debuff on his attack at very least. Each crit, when it hits the opponent, remember, when it hits someone in PvP, it has a chance to reduce their, reduce their max health. So he's doing 5 hits. All 5 have a chance to critical. I mean, granted, they probably won't, but like you could, in theory, reduce the opposing team's health 5 times with 1 special cast. That's kind of crazy. Also, he's putting up a new taunt that lasts for 4 turns. 4 turns is a good amount of taunt. Can't really complain about that. And the caster reduces all received damage by 50% for 4 turns. So not only is he taunting, going to take all the hits, he's going to reduce all those hits damage by 50%. When you're fighting this guy, you've got to have Dispel ready. Like, you've got to. If you let this guy sit there with taunt up, he is going to take control of the entire fight on his own, and you are going to be in a world of hurt. This guy's just everything you want out of a taunter character. I mean, he starts with the taunt Aether Power too. I'd say this guy is probably a solid 9 as well. Just really well designed character. Can't really complain about that. All right, next up we have Ruan Xiaoqi, or Quan? I don't know. Listen, I'm not the best at pronouncing these names, so just bear with me. He's, the yellow monk dude with the hat. Okay, so as I said, he's monk class, same family bonus with the crit. I'm pretty sure we got the same stuff here. Cleanse on critical. Yeah, attack targets with higher health and immune to bleed. But his special power is dodge. So he's going to be able to avoid hits at a higher clip for the first 6 turns. That 20% chance to dodge is pretty nice. Then we also get down to his special at fast speed. We have the fact that he can critically hit, obviously. Dispels 2 buffs from all enemies. Now, why is there a little thing here? The latest buffs are dispelled first. Okay, so 2 from all enemies is pretty nice at fast speed. You're probably going to keep them pretty, pretty dispelled at that point. Let's see. Deals 450% damage to the enemy with the highest remaining HP. Deals 250% damage to all other enemies. The enemy that had the highest remaining HP gets 1,119 water damage over 3 turns. This effect can't be cleansed. Okay. I would say this guy is interesting. It's nice to be able to keep them dispelled. He does hit all, but not at an absolutely crazy amount of damage. I'd say it's very reasonable and it's on task. I like that it does more damage to the strongest target, so you're whittling that person down as well. The dot is pretty significant. We're talking approximately 400 damage per turn. He's okay. I mean, honestly, like, I don't think I would be as excited with this guy as I was the previous 2, but I would say he's a solid, um, solid 7, maybe pushing 8. I would like to see how he actually plays out in a fight because he's a little bit hard for me to gauge right now because he's so new with stats and everything else. I'd say we can give him an 8 for now, but I am a little worried about whether he's going to be as significant on the battlefield as his two other previous introductions were. So just let's give him an 8 and the benefit of the doubt for now. All right. Believe it or not, we're not done. I kind of wish we were, but there's still more. So, with the introduction of this portal, they also gave us a new 3 and 4 star. Let's get into the 4 star. We have Gu Dasao, or again, murdering these names, just bear with me. Yellow Druid, 4 star, same family bonus, I can only assume. Yep, 50, 60, 70% critical chance. Then I'm guessing we have the same stuff here. Yep, cleanse on critical special attack. Again, boosted ability to attack targets with higher health. And we've got resist bleed. Okay. Aether power is going to be defense up, making her tankier at the beginning of the fight. And then at average speed, we're going to be dealing with this special skill critical. Great. Deals 185% damage to the target and minor damage to all other enemies. The caster counterattacks with 70% of the damage received for 4 turns. The caster decreases 5% mana from the attacker on each counterattack for 4 turns. This effect gets diminished for consecutive activations during the same turn. Oh, there goes your picture. Okay. Basically, she's going to do a really minor hit all. And then her counterattack at 70% is okay, but it's only her who counterattacks, and she decreases mana from things hitting her. So I would say she definitely looks like she fits into a tank slot, and she might get play at 4 star level. I'm just not sure that I see a better use for this character than like an Azima from Dunes. So maybe not incredibly exciting, but she's not a bad 4 star to pull. All right, and then last but not least, oh, well, let's go back into the portals faster. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Liu Tang is our 3 star. He is going to be a red barbarian. Again, same family bonus, same passives. You get it. Aether power is taunt for a 3 star, though. So this guy is now expanding our characters that start with taunt at 3 star. I think it was only Schreiber up to this point. So welcome to a new Aether power taunt for 3 star. Let's get into what he does. At slow speed, this character can critical. Again, great. Deals 265% damage to the target and minor damage to nearby. So his hit is reasonable, but at slow speed might be a little light. The caster gets taunt and prevents enemies from using special skills on allies for 5 turns. So very simple, just a 5-turn taunt. He's fine. I don't think there's anything particularly game changing about this character, and for some reason his picture took off too. Whatever. Um, I mean, he's a 5-turn taunt that hits 3 at slow speed. I honestly don't know if this guy's going to be that amazing. In Rush, he's probably going to be pretty useful, but like getting to slow speed, it's going to take a while, and even then, 3 stars usually aren't that survivable in the long run. So, might direct a couple of hits his way, but by the time his slow special goes off, his health total might be whittled down already, and then you gotta force fire him. So, like he's okay. I don't know if he's any kind of game changer though. But there you have it. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Just a quick reminder: we have ourselves the Red Lucky Summon. So please do your flags if you join Three Kingdoms. Like get those coins. Eventually, you get a free 5 star out of it. That's pretty cool in my personal opinion. All right. And then finally, for the new characters, you are Stylen. If you pull either of these two, I think they would be your chases for this particular portal. And I wish you all the best of luck. All right, guys. Thank you so much.